I wanted to see if I heard Reagan's computer say this is being recorded, but I didn't hear it this week. Hey, everybody. Welcome to AIWF Ringside Wrestling. I'm Mad Matt Carter, being joined as always by Hall of Famers Brian and Reagan Danzig. We've got hopefully a compelling show for you this week. Although the news in the wrestling world has been a little bit slower.
Well, there was a story about Hollywood Haley J.
Who's that?
That one? The OVW girl.
Oh yeah, Smokey McPot.
Yeah, that she I read an article about her WWE tryout ish. Well, that she didn't get to try out.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
they said that she didn't get it. It was something was wrong with her medical paperwork, which means sounds to me like, and they said they'd give her another chance in the future, but it sounds like to me, I'm just speculating. That sounds like you failed your drug test because you smoked too much. So
yeah, you popped hot, or maybe it could be the way Cornette tells it, their health screening in WWE now is like more rigorous than the NFL, and so if she's smokes a lot of weed, just got blown up quicker than they liked, it could have took her out. I mean, who knows? But that's interesting. But anyway, look, funny story, it's football season now. So there's a pizzeria near my house. I'll put them over. It's called Garofalo's Italiano, right? Right in the Food Line Shopping Center, about half mile from here. Fantastic pies, but they're also a Steelers bar. The man and woman that opened the restaurant were big Pittsburgh Steelers fans. And they moved here from Pittsburgh. They actually have retired now, moved to Florida. The kids run the restaurant now, but it's still a Steelers bar. And the Steelers aren't having a great season so far this year. But I went in there to pick up a pie this afternoon before the race and walked in. And, usually like when you go into bars of football, it's happy, it's jovial. Sports bars are a place of fun and everything, but the tension was so thick in there and everybody looked so serious. And a couple of them looked really angry. Your more dedicated fans that were wearing the jerseys and stuff. And I told my wife, I was like, I just wanted to get the hell out of there. I was like, that is the most tension I've ever felt at a sports bar in my life. And I've gone to see UFC fights where people will be, yelling at each other, who's better, Chael Sonnen or John Jones or whatever. This has been years ago, but but I've never felt the atmosphere so tense in all my life. I just thought that was funny. So anyway, if you Steelers fans are feeling bad, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
But
I don't follow football, and like where I work, my shoot job, like football is life there.
Mm-hmm.
And like the people I work with, we all know who they are, what they are. They're like, what's your favorite football team? I was like, I don't watch football. And they all looked at me like I had said, I don't know, that I didn't breathe air.
Yeah. It's like that. I learned probably about the time I got married, I guess. I don't take it as seriously as I used to. Like if the 49ers lose, I'm disappointed, but it doesn't like negatively impact my mood because it's just a game. And I guess it goes back to what Floyd told Andy on the Andy Griffith show many years ago about Barney. If he was married, he wouldn't get worked up about little things like this, And so, but now the thing about it is, though, I'm a way different with Wake Forest football because I do get emotionally involved in that. And when they lost in the ACC championship game a few years ago, almost cried. And it was just like, because they're such a small school and they, it's only like once every 10, 5-10 years. I mean, they're good every year, relatively speaking, but they actually get a chance to run for the championship. And you people are probably wondering, why the fuck are they talking about football? And the show says AIWF Ringside Wrestling. So
not to interrupt you, but Dynamite Doug has entered the chat on the
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Dynamite Doug. Hello, Dynamite Doug. I hadn't seen him in a while. He moved to Texas, didn't
he? Yeah. He lives in Texas now.
Oh, okay. So former AIWF World Heavyweight Champion Dynamite Doug in the audience tonight. So we are picking up some steam. We're starting to expand our audience. Speaking of expanding our audience, let's do something a little bit wrestling related since you did tune into a wrestling show.
Because I don't have anything to say about football. Like, I'll tell you how much this family pays my children go to a school that is big in football, and their homecoming was Friday, and they called Brian to pick them up so they wouldn't have to go to the pep rally during school.
That made me sad when I saw you post that. Because I was like never over crazy about school spirit either, but I did always enjoy the pep rallies because it got us out of class. You know, they were loud, they were noisy, and so that's something.
I think that's the problem, is that they're not big on loud, noisy thing. That's one of the reasons they don't like coming to wrestling.
Yeah, our children don't like wrestling either. So,
well, that's your own fault for showing them all that bad wrestling when they were little. That's been my theory on that for a while. But anyway, here, so look at our YouTube, our AIWF Wrestling YouTube channel. I'm going to show you this. I want to thank all of you fans out there. Here, let me optimize this so you can see it. Look at this, 991 subscribers.
Woo!
Goal is
nice.
1,000. We are 9 away. So if you have not subscribed to the AIWF Ringside Wrestling channel, please go on there. Like, subscribe, ring the notifications bell so you'll know anytime we post a new video. And we've got tons and tons of content. AIWF Mid-Atlantic 441 just went up yesterday and is already trending hotter than just about anything else we've got going. The Fighters Club, some Fighters Club action, and from Fright Night, that's not going to premiere until after. Deal with the Steel is not going to premiere until after it goes up on the AIWF network, but I had to get the videos on there because I had to get them off my phone, and it's the only place I could put it. So look at this. Now, in addition to this channel, if you go and search just like this in your YouTube, now the
AIWF necklace, what the hell is that?
So watch this. You hit AIWF network, hit enter, and it takes you to our sister station, which is actually the old AIWF original Mid-Atlantic channel. And boy, oh boy, have we got some treats for you guys on this. This has got all kinds of stuff on it from over the years. We can even scroll back. You can even go back here like to 2014, 2013. It's crazy. There's just a ton of footage on here. Here's when we used to show one new match and one classic match. There's chains. It looks like Gemini. So it's no telling what you'll find on here. But this is the gem that we found this week that popped up. It's an interview with Brian Danzig from back in '97, an ECW style interview. Brian, do you have any recollection of doing this?
Vaguely, yes.
Oh my Lord, Ed Malice is now in the chat room.
All right. Hey, Eddie.
I don't remember a whole lot about it, but I do remember doing this.
Yeah, it said 70 views 5 days ago. I'll tell you, man, Brian, the first 50 were at about the first 2 hours it was up. Because a lot of us saw that go up, and we were all like, "Oh, I gotta look at this! I gotta look at this." So we got.
I want to go back and watch that or not.
Well, you talked about your favorite bands, and you called Raven with ECW a poser.
I do remember that. Yeah, because it was which now I look back and I'm like, Raven was a very smart wrestler because he picked up on what was hot in pop culture at the time. Like when he was doing Scotty Flamingo, he was wearing the jean jacket with the bejeweled, and it was the style of the time.
Mm-hmm.
And then when the times changed and then grunge became popular, he changed his look. That wasn't really him, but that's, looking back, I'm like, yeah, he was smart to do that. But young me, oh, you're a sellout, you know.
Oh yeah, no.
Yeah,
I
it's
used to
like
call
now,
people sellouts all the time
right?
back then.
Yeah, it's like now, now get yours, man. Don't. Yes.
Yeah. And it was amazing because I remember the first time I watched ECW and I was like, that Johnny Polo, Scotty Flamingo? What now? He's all grunge and shit. What the hell? You know,
Yeah.
he was a tough bastard though, man. He took a
yeah.
lot of hard
He
hits in
was.
the ECW ring. And so I think he's paying for it these days, but
yeah, he looks pretty rough now.
Yeah.
I have a very, and I'm not going to tell that story. Never mind.
oh, come on now. You can't tease us like that and come through.
It's embarrassing to me. It
Oh,
wasn't
okay.
me. It wasn't me, but
It wasn't me. It was Owen. I wasn't even there.
I do have I didn't have much interaction with Raven, but when we had our ECW tryout, he was while we were in the ring, he was picking on me for having painted fingernails, and I'm like, I'm just thinking like, well, I'm in there working, and I'm like, really, Raven is gonna make a is gonna make a jab at somebody for having black fingernails?
Yeah.
Like are you serious?
This doesn't make any sense whatsoever.
No.
Oh my God. You know, man, yeah, maybe it was divine intervention that you didn't get on up there. I mean,
because Reagan, she brings it up sometimes, and I'm like, we got our tryout, and then it was like, they were like, okay, yeah, we like what we saw. Send a tape in and a headshot, and we'll get back in touch with you. And then it was like a few weeks later, there were the rumors about them shutting down.
Oh, so you guys went up in like 01 then.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
See, for some reason I thought this was like 97, 98 when they were still hot.
We were already together. Because I went with them. I didn't get to go in. They didn't let anybody in except the people that were trying out into the arena, because it was up in Asheville.
Mm-hmm.
And so like we sat around and talked to Supernova for a really, really long time, and then they went in and did the tryout, and I didn't get to go in because they, like I said, they weren't letting anybody in. But I always bring up that I think it's my fault that you didn't get to go.
Right, but again, I'm glad that I didn't. I would hate to have gotten a taste of it and then have the rug pulled out from under me. It's better just that it just didn't happen. I'm glad that it didn't, because again, I would hate to get my foot in the door and then have it slammed on my ankle.
And probably at that point, that was probably when Paulie had stopped paying the guys. So you may have ended up investing a lot of money traveling, God knows where, and never getting any reimbursement for it. So it probably worked out for the best.
Because Supernova was the head of the ring crew, and he was telling us all about that. So, and I guess people that don't know ECW, Supernova is who became Simon Dean in WWE.
Was that him? I didn't know that.
Yeah,
that was him.
Wow. Okay, he looks so different,
Yeah. So,
well, with my patented Simon system. Oh,
I know. I
put up a classic clip of him earlier this week. It's funny that you say that. They were doing a throwback to something that Simon Dean was involved in. I can't remember what it was, but I was like, wow, there's a face I hadn't seen in a while.
I think I see a Kevin Phoenix, Simon Dean. If Supernova ever sees the Mid-Atlantic show, he's going to sue Kevin for gimmick infringement. Oh, that's funny. Okay. Well, I'm glad he got a run. So he was a incredible athlete. He got a run in WWE. He was pretty successful. He was there for a few years. So wasn't he? I think. He was there for a little while.
It was a decent amount of time.
Probably at least 2 years that he ran that gimmick. And that gimmick, it was over for the time for a mid-card gimmick, I think.
Yeah.
Because, I'm sure
he drew a good paycheck while he was there. That's what I'm getting at. I'm glad he got a run. But the gimmick was funny because he's like, I'm trying to help you, but I'm also insulting you at the same time. The only one that's been, I think stuff like that in wrestling, it's as long as it's not overdone, is great. Like I just read an article about the Honky Tonk Man, and the guy was pointing out, that he could sing his own theme song. He wasn't a very good wrestler, but what a great bad guy wrestler he was. But he was a bad guy wrestler, much like Bo Dallas, who didn't realize they were a bad guy, and that's what made him great. The Honky Tonk Man would come down and wave to the crowd and always be smiling. Thank you very much. You're a beautiful audience. And people just be booing him out of the building. I love you. Thank you.
Yeah, that will make a crowd even madder. It's like, no, I don't like you. I'm not cheering. I'm booing. Yes, thank you.
Yeah. But when Bo Dallas was doing his thing, 8 or 9 years ago, with Must Believe, I bought a shirt. I was into that so much. And the funniest one, and this is a deep cut, but they would put on it, at the end of YouTube videos, when you put up the links to the other videos and the subscribe button and everything, they had one where Bo Dallas came on and he goes, "You finished?" He said, "I see you made it to the end of the video. You did great. Now all you need to do is subscribe and click on another video." You did great. Love that guy, man.
Yeah, I was still watching off and on then, and I enjoyed that character. I think he did a really good job of that.
Yeah, I don't know why. I guess Vince ultimately put the kibosh on it, but I thought it was great. And I saw him wrestle a couple of times in person, and it was funny. There was always a segment of fans, at least 15 or 20 of us, that would get the "Weibo leave" chant going, and we'd be it'd only be a few people doing it. You're in a Spectrum Center in Charlotte on a Sunday afternoon with about 7,000 people in there, and 20 of them are "Weibo leave." Oh shit, good times at live wrestling. But Charlotte's a great place, a great town to come watch wrestling in too, because all the people that go now are the kids, the people who went to Crockett Promotions, and so they cheer the good guys, boo the bad guys. You have a few smarky chants that'll get started every now and then, but it's not to where it like pisses you off. You know what I mean? It's a good old school wrestling city. I love going to wrestling.
Me and my friends, we went to a couple of nitros at the Bojangles Center now.
I don't
remember.
Bojangles.
What was it then? Damn, I don't remember. But yes, the Bojangles Center now. We went to a couple of nitros there, and that was one of those places that there wasn't a bad seat anywhere. Because it was big, but it was small, when you think about coliseums and stuff now. But it was always good there to be able to see, and that was WCW there.
It was called the Independence Arena back then.
That's right,
because it's on Independence Boulevard.
Yes. So we went to a few there, and they were really good.
Yep. When that thing was built back in the 30s, I've learned since I moved down here that it was the largest indoor arena in the world at the time. It only held that title for about 8 months before something else was built bigger than that. But at the time it was built, and if you go in that building and go down on the floor and look up, it's like it's a big dome, right? But like the ceiling is so high in there, it'll give you vertigo. You get dizzy if you stare straight up at it.
Yeah, it is a pretty tall dome, isn't it?
Yeah, it really is. And so, so
don't miss those days of following wrestling around. It's a different time.
I don't know. I kind of do. I kind of don't.
I don't know. But you weren't a group of girls that were skipping college classes and failing out of college to go to all this wrestling on one of them's mother's dime.
I was working on a cardboard factory. I couldn't skip work for that kind of stuff.
I was failing out of UNCG. So for my and putting my mother in debt.
Y'all's whole group flunked out of that school, I believe, didn't they?
Vera, don't say that to Vera. She will not agree with that statement about Wake. She was at Wake, so.
Yeah, but she stopped going to Wake because she didn't like doing all those papers. I mean,
I don't know. Yeah,
that's what she says anyway.
But yeah, it was me, Annie, and Candace. We were all the people at UNCG. So
yeah.
But yeah.
Oh well. Anyway.
Oh Lord.
This is AIWF Wrestling for October 1st. Yes, it's October already. Halloween month. Yes,
Happy
indeed.
Halloween.
I've already got my decorations up. I should have took some pictures of them.
Oh, we do too, but I don't. Yeah, you can't see them from this window. I don't think. No.
But anyway, Instagram, check us out. AIWF Mid-Atlantic Wrestling and Diesel, DEEZEL 247. And of course, you can find me on X at Mad Matt Concord. Still waiting on news to where the finals of the Women's World Title Tournament are going to be held at and when. Hopefully it's after December 7th. I say that because I may be able to attend. The last I heard, 3 states are vying for it. West Virginia, Tennessee, and Iowa, was it? Or Illinois?
I thought it was I don't remember.
It was one of the I states.
One of the Midwest I's, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, somewhere in the Midwest, and you know, nothing against the people that live in the Midwest. I've been to the Midwest a lot and all that kind of stuff, but I don't want to travel that far. So I hope it's in a state that's a little more close to North Carolina, just for greedy purposes.
Yeah.
But anyway, it's going to be Stormy Renee and Clara Carter, no relation. Although if she was Ken, I wouldn't be ashamed of her, not one bit. But yeah, it's going to be a knockdown drag out, and it's going to be a fantastic matchup. Clara is actually wrestling, I believe, right now somewhere. So if I remember seeing the poster right, I'm not sure. But anyway, they always have a standing invite to this show, Jack and Clara. And of course, for us in the Mid-Atlantic, next Saturday night, you're getting down to it. Veterans Park. It's a Roku/YouTube taping, and we hope you'll join us for that. We're going to try to get another 3 in the can. Hope to see those kids from Mount Airy High School there. They're big Kevin Phoenix fans. He's going to be there, and we hope you will too. Corey Etzel and Justin Flash are going to be in the ring at the same time. Well, not in the ring at the same time. They might, but they're going to be in the building at the same time. So we saw last time that got kind of interesting when they're both in the same place at the same time. So, and we'll learn more about, all the rivalries going on in the AIWF Mid-Atlantic. So we ask you to join us. Bell time, 7:30 p.m. Look at that. Tickets are cheap, man. $5 for the floor, $3 for the bleachers. And we hope that you join us for the show. It's going to be a lot of fun. It'll be our final show before Fright Night on Halloween weekend. And of course, as we talked about earlier, we were showing you the YouTube channels. It's the biggest 1-2 punch in free wrestling on YouTube. AIWF Network, AIWF Ringside Wrestling. Those are the 2 channels. And eventually AIWF Network will be moving completely to YouTube. So we're trying to get the channel all cleaned up and ready to go. But I strongly encourage you to check it out. It's fantastic. Fantastic 1-2 punch. And of course, you can hear this podcast on Apple and Spotify and anywhere you find your favorite podcasts. So what other wrestling news has there been this week? Really? Not much. I mean, they had the big NXT event last night. We'll look at some still shots from WWE.com about that a little bit later, which just blew me away. The NXT Tuesday night show it's hit and miss sometimes, but boy, they really delivered on pay-per-view last night. So kudos to them. Hey, is anybody out there in the comments section watching the AEW pay-per-view that's going on tonight? I can't remember. It was called Wrestle Dream. Me personally, I looked at the card. I didn't say anything on there that would make me say, hey, you can have my $50. But if anybody out there is watching it or planning on watching it, drop a message in the chat and tell us what you think about it and what you're looking most forward to on that card. We'd love to hear from you. Well, I'll leave it up to you. You two got anything that you want to discuss burning topics in wrestling right now?
No, I mentioned the one thing I had about the tryout. I've just been reading more Al Snow interviews and stuff, and talking about how he was like, they were either going to do the show, they were going to be completely open about it, or they were going to just, show it like a work. And and then they all cited as a locker room that they would, open up, as much as they did. Because have you watched it yet?
Oh yeah, I binged it first. As soon as I saw it was up, I binged all 7 episodes.
It's just talking about seeing the lives of the people and things like that. So, I would suggest if you haven't watched it and you have Netflix to check it out. I mean, we don't have any real anything with it. I mean, we got some people that have been on AIWF. I mean,
I know Jay Malachi caused a quite disturb with his father on Facebook. And I saw today that his dad posted again saying, "Oh yeah, this is my son. I love him." And as soon as I met Jay Malachi, we followed each other on social, so I could, so we could see wrestling information. It's just a weird situation to me. This guy, I've never seen him tag him before the whole Netflix thing happened. So, it's just, I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm not going to give advice in public, but I don't know. That's just weird.
Yeah, It is. You can take what you see and make your, own inference about what's going on there. And, and it's just, I would be excited too if, but I think I don't know. It was just strange because it was just that one little clip. Because like now the big convention that's coming up has got some of those guys.
Oh, you're talking about WrestleCade?
Huh?
You're talking about WrestleCade?
Yeah. So Haley J and Freya the Slayer and Jay Malachi they're being introduced as being there and James Anthony.
Rick Diesel called it, and what's going to be fun. I don't know if you guys are planning on going this year, but if you walk in there and their tables have as seen on the wrestlers on Netflix, you got to take a picture and send it to me because it's going to end up on the show, and I know that's why they got booked, but I hope they don't take it to that end as Rick Diesel predicted, but he's been around a long time, so he's usually right about this kind of stuff.
I mean, it's one of those things, or if you think like back in the WCW days and the ECW days, you would see, even around Mount Airy, you would see indie posters and it would say as seen on WCW, but it was like, I don't know, what was their crappiest one? Like the one nobody watched, not Saturday Night, the one that was worse than Saturday Night.
Thunder.
No, there was one more. Anyway,
main event
job on it, maybe. So
there was main event. There was WCW Pro, WCW Worldwide.
Might have been Worldwide. That might have been the one that was like jobbers versus, enhancement talent versus enhancement talent.
See, and that hurts my heart because at one time Worldwide Wrestling, when it was still under Jim Crockett Promotions, was a red hot show, and they didn't have main event matches on there very much, but it was an awesome show coupled with NWA Pro. It was great, and to see what it became.
My favorite from back then was sometimes you wouldn't see as seen as. Sometimes you would get some guys who would be on like a dark match at a house show, and then it wouldn't say as seen on. It would say from WCW. Like, well, you're not really from WCW.
Yeah. Oh, remember how everybody used to have a Doink the Clown back in the 90s, all the independent shows, especially the ones in Mount Airy, and you'd see like Doink the Clown, and then just everybody had a Doink the Clown. You knew it wasn't Matt Bourne,
right?
Or the other guy, because I think he was still employed by WWF at the time, even though he wasn't on TV.
Yeah, but I think there were seems like I had heard back then that there were 3 guys who had the rights to actually be Doink the Clown, but I know that there were more than 3 guys doing Doink the Clown.
Have you ever, if you just want to see something funny real quick, if one of you got your phone close by with YouTube, search in YouTube Doink the Clown Alabama, and you'll see something hilarious. And let me see, maybe I'll pull it up before I do the first ad read, see if I can find it and show it to the people. I don't want to get in trouble for copyright, but about just maybe a still shot or something.
Doink the Clown Alabama.
Yeah, that's where it used to be.
The funniest Doink the Clown from the indies I saw was Matt Bourne against Jim Duggan. And I would suggest watching that.
Is this the casket match?
No,
Heidenreich versus Alabama Doink in a casket match.
It might be. If it's Alabama Doink, you're on to it. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, this one's against Heidenreich.
Oh wow. Okay.
Oh God. Now, nothing's more exciting than listening to a podcast while somebody watches YouTube on there.
Hey man, Tony Schiavone has made a damn good living over it the last few years. You know, they watch old wrestling shows.
First of all, Heidenreich was terrible. Everything about him was terrible. And now in this video, it looks like he's way past his prime. This is 5 years ago.
Oh Lord. October 21st. They got
like an honest to God casket.
Oh my God. Yeah, they went to the funeral home and got that 5 years ago, October 21st, 2017. Okay, somewhere in Alabama.
Dude, that Alabama Doink has a little weight on him. he almost looks like Mitch Blake in a Doink mask.
Maybe it is Mitch Blake.
I don't know, it might be too tall.
Look, Heidenreich can't even really march anymore. It doesn't look like.
Oh my God.
Yeah, they're limbering up.
I don't know. I don't think we'd get hit with a copyright on this.
I don't know. Here, let me share my screen so at least people can see, you know, what we're looking at.
You can do it without the sound, maybe.
Yeah, I got it muted.
This is Alabama Doink. This is the Doink.
First, yeah, that lockup. See,
yeah,
it just makes me wonder. Like,
this is why Reagan's children don't like wrestling, because this is kind of shit.
I don't watch wrestling this bad on the internet. Maybe.
Somebody closed
the last time they went, I have a picture from when they were little with Justin Flash. So but once they got older, we went.
There's a drone flying over the ring.
What the hell is that?
And there's another clown at ringside. See him right there?
Mm-hmm.
Things I never thought. They're wrestling inside it looks like an elementary school gym, and with a drone flying over the ring. They don't
look how slow that guy's going. Well, is this slow because of my computer, or is
it's really slow.
I want to know what that sign says that's in a shape of a tombstone. Mm-hmm. Oh, there is the other clown.
Well, the thing is, I figured the drone would be from for a camera, but there's no footage from it.
Well, this might be fan cam.
Yeah,
it might be. It says David Bixen Span. So thank you, David. But
please subscribe to him so you can watch whatever other bad videos he has of wrestling.
Somebody left a comment. Do you see that? You won't get your deposit back if there's blood in that casket. Nice.
Oh my God. Maybe that's what we should do. So, hey, there's Rick Diesel. Maybe that's what we should do. Maybe we should have a time that we watch when it's just us three. We watch shitty wrestling and commentate over it.
Yeah, I don't know if we could get away with too much on YouTube. I'm
going to be surprised. Obscure enough. We'd have to go pretty deep into the shit.
Well, you can usually get away with posting old stuff from Japan on here. but like most of that stuff's actually pretty good from the 70s and 80s.
I'm talking indie. I'm talking about shitty indie wrestling.
I got bad news for you fans. Looks like poor Doink is in the casket now, but I need to stop watching that. Oh, mercy. But yeah, Alabama Doink. So if you ever need a laugh, oh no, he's pulling him in the casket with him. All right. I need to get, what's up, Rick Diesel?
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Loud and clear. Hey, it's Trista driving. They're driving the food truck back.
That looks safe.
Yeah, that's podcast and drive.
Please not try this at home.
It's not against the law yet.
Just a matter of time.
It's only a matter of time. She does not look pleased to be on camera, Rick Diesel.
She's tired.
Yeah.
They have got their butts kicked for 3 days.
Yeah. So the festival lasted Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Now I'm just trying to get home. We're passing the hospital. She's eyeballing it, but I ain't going to stop.
Oh.
See the damn light.
Holy shit.
Oh boy. Let me read some ads now.
The Lowe's truck was up there.
The hell's she doing here already open there?
No, the truck. That's the truck. Yeah.
Yep. It's only a matter of time before that Marconi comes our way. Let's see. Here we go. All right. So first, let's thank our friends at Premier Auto Detailing. And we say hands down, the best car cleaning service in town. It's Premier Auto Detailing operating in the Mount Airy, Surry County area of North Carolina. You can call 336-883-5722. That's 336-883-5722 for more information. And if you've got a fleet, if you go in a business where you got a lot of trucks, work vehicles that you need cleaned up on a regular basis, these guys can help you out. If you got a used car lot, something like that, that's fine. You don't have to be commercial though. If you just got a car that you fixed up recently and you need to get it cleaned up before you can take it into town, you want to get, you spend all that money on parts and getting it running again, that's fine. They can help you with that. Or if you got a regular working car that's, no more than 15 or 20 years old and you just don't like washing the damn car because it's like one of your least favorite things to do, Premier Auto Detailing can help you with that. They'll be glad to. And all you have to do is call 336-883-5722. And I'll give it to you one more time, 336-883-5722. All right. Of course, our friends at Tees Creations Custom Apparel have been with us for quite a while. I want you to check out some of these new fall lineup gimmicks, designs for these are my favorite, these koozies right here. And as you can see, they've taken the shots 1, 2, 3, so you can see what the pattern looks like all the way around. The cow moo, boo, it's all right. But I love the Halloween and Christmas stuff. It's absolutely fantastic. She could care less. It's teescreations22.com. You visit them there, teescreations22.com. You can find them at Tees Creations by Allied Apparel on Facebook and TikTok, Tees Creations on TikTok. And so I don't think she'll be doing a TikTok tonight, but again, check them out, teescreations22.com. We appreciate their support and love that new merchant. Look, hey, I took these screenshots off their website, the teescreations22.com. So all you have to do is visit there. And there's a place where you can contact them if you need a custom job done, something like that. You can reach out to them there. All right. So definitely check them out. teescreations22.com. All right.
I told her to get new pictures, Matt.
That's all right. I found some.
Get the camera off of her, please.
Yeah, she needs, it looks like she needs to sleep for about 4 days. But
Hadright is working Baby in that match.
Is working who?
And Baby, Doink is the heel.
Well, yeah, there's the original Alabama Doink video is him in the parking lot of like a Golden Corral wrestling. And the first 7 minutes of the video is him insulting the crowd. But you know, even with my accent, like his Alabama accent was like, I'm sitting there listening, like, what is he saying? And he's standing over in the corner, and y'all ain't gonna talk about me, no.
Oh my God. This reminds me of, we went to a show in Tennessee. And what was the name? The Lucha. Okay, it was two hooded fellers, and they were called the Luchadors. And they got on the mic, and they go, "We're the Luchadors." And I was like, oh my God. Yeah, they're from Mexico. And they had on white shirts that were just like puff painted or something, or just written that said Luchadors. So that was a fun trip. That's where two people got in a fight.
That's the only thing. The only thing that could have made that story better is if you'd have said that they had a Confederate flags on their boots.
Oh yeah, that would. Yeah,
we're the Luchadors. Let's see here.
That reminds me of watching Smoky Mountain, and let me tell y'all, bunch of rednecks, something. It's like, oh, you're willing to talk. Maybe if your accent's that thick, you don't need to be calling anybody else a redneck hick.
Well, was it JD Anderson? We went out to Tennessee one time and saw him after he had started coming out to that music. It's hard to be humble when you're so damn good, you know. And he got in the ring one night and I almost fell out. And he goes, "Well, you know how he talks, right?" He's like, "Well, I'm glad to see all of y'all cast your welfare checks that came in here tonight." And it just struck me the right. And I'm like trying to do, I want to do something while I was there visiting. So I was doing camera for him and I almost dropped the damn camera. It just, I don't know, the way he said it, it just hit me in a certain way. But I don't think anything will ever top Chris. We were just talking about him the other week.
Which
Chris,
one?
Not Chris Nelson,
Chris?
the Scott Steiner Chris.
Oh, Chris Stanley.
Chris Stanley coming into the ring in Elkin that night and saying, "Let me tell you something, you redneck trailer trash bunch of junk."
That was one of his best. That was one of his best.
Yes, it was awesome.
Remember, he also put O's at the end of everything he said.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Saying O, said O.
Yep.
Oh Lord.
But after he got out of wrestling, I don't know what he was doing, but I used to run into him at the Eden Flea Market on Sundays. He ran a booth down there that had NASCAR memorabilia, and when I tell you they had NASCAR memorabilia, they had a shit ton of it. And so I was always interested in looking at that stuff. So I would go down there and just shoot the shit with him for 20 or 30 minutes. And, and that was entertaining enough in itself, So if you're out there, Chris, man, I hope you're doing well. But so looks like Rick Diesel's driving through a tunnel. There ain't no tunnels in Mount Airy.
Right.
Oh, hear me better than I can hear you.
Oh, okay. I said it looked like you were driving through a tunnel.
No, a dense grove of trees hanging over the road.
Let's see here. Let's take a look at some of the photos from last night from the NXT show. It was in Bakersfield, California. It was on Peacock. First match out of the gate, if you don't include the match at the pre-show, we're not, was Braun Breaker, whose bad guy turn is not working because nobody wants to boo the guy. Sort of like the Road Warriors in '88. So, and he took on Baron Corbin, who was challenging his inner Undertaker right here. This was pretty badass.
I don't like motorcycles inside. Maybe in a big place it's not as bad, but I've been to a few, maybe some of ours, where someone has come in on a motorcycle and it was terrible. It's so loud. It stinks so much.
Ain't no joke.
Hey, I remember now Jammer did it back in like 97 or 98 at Fright Night and Elkin, but we had the big raise up door behind the announcers, right? And so they actually pulled that off. It didn't blow a bunch of exhaust.
It wasn't the jammer I was referencing.
Yeah, it was. But that one worked out good. I can't remember, who were you referencing? When did it go bad? Was I there?
Yeah, it was Iron Horse.
Iron Horse came in on a motorcycle.
Yep. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Yeah, he came through I don't know where we were at, but it wasn't through a big roll-up door, I don't think. I don't remember, but I just remember it stinking and being real loud. And then we were at an Eldon Spears show at Pofftown. And a guy rode in on his motorcycle there. And that place is tiny.
Yes, it is.
And it was loud and terrible. Plus, that guy was a terrible wrestler too, so it didn't help.
Yeah.
That's one of the shows where they tried that real horse, wasn't it?
Huh?
Wait, the
he rode a real horse?
A horse to the ring and like it about fell off.
I don't know that we at that one.
No, we heard about it.
We heard about it. We made it to one Eldon Spears show, and we made them so mad that they told us we could never come back.
What in the world did he think was going to happen when he took a horse across a wooden basketball court with a glossy surface? I mean, horseshoes, the horse is going to slip. I would be, I mean, yeah.
Not smart at all.
No. Yeah, just put horseshoes on your own shoes and try to run on a basketball court and tell me what happens.
I mean, for those that don't know, that's not very surprising from that organization. So,
well, what did y'all do to get thrown out? As we show still put pictures of NXT.
I don't even know. Nothing really. I mean, we were booing and we were talking shit about people, but I mean, not loudly. Like we weren't being assholes. We just went to watch. And like, it wasn't like we laughed sometimes because the wrestling was so terrible, but we didn't like show our asses or anything.
I think it was because Billy was with us.
Like it coming from other workers is what it was.
I think what it was
probably
Billy was there and he wrote for a website at the time, and he did an article about the show and just completely trashed it. And then they saw it and banned all three of us.
Yeah, I
didn't write the damn article.
Well, and they gave us shit that night too, didn't they? Or like they were treating us really weird. Like it was just weird. And like I don't know, we didn't do anything. I mean, because I'm not gonna go to a show and act like an asshole. I'm not like that. And I mean, we laughed because some of the stuff was stupid, but
right. But we weren't going out of our way.
No, we weren't like, what do you call it? Like, heckling or anything. But we got banned from YWA because of that.
Oh, YWA. Now you mean
YWA.
the promotion but anyway, hey, so guys, Baron Corbin beat Braun Breaker last night, what I consider is a major upset because I hadn't seen Baron Corbin win a match in about 3 years on WWE programming. Mm-hmm. So 1, 2, 3, there was some interference, but I'm gonna tell you what, at least with the NXT crowd, old Baron's getting some heat on him again. I was about ready to write him off. Don't get me wrong, I think he's talented, but he's got a really dry personality.
Yeah, it was shocking when they were letting those people go that his name wasn't a part of it, because he's not pushed very much, and so maybe now that they've freed up some space, they're gonna start pushing him because maybe
I don't know. We'll see. I think he'd do well down there. I mean, because he understands psychology. That's where his degree is psychology. So that's if you're going to get into professional wrestling, that's a perfect kind of degree to have. So So
I have a degree in psychology. Maybe that's why I'm such a good producer.
Well, I mean, it might have something to do with it. Now, you know how the AIWF shoot fighting championship, right? How it has the rounds and everything like that. All right. Now, this was for it's called the Heritage Cup, right? That they have in NXT. It's something new that they have. Noam Dar, as you can see, with his enormous head. I'm just kidding. No, I'm not Noam, but you're still a great wrestler. But anyway, He's the Heritage Cup champion. And the way it works is it's pinfall, submission. You know, you get points for pinfall or submission, and it's 6 3-minute rounds. If you get a fall, the round immediately ends, right? So you're guaranteed 18 minutes of wrestling, and there's like a 20-second rest period between each round. And this was Butch.
About the AIWF shoot fight title.
Yeah, it's pretty much the exact same rules for this NXT Heritage Cup that Noam Dar and Pete Dunne, and is now known as Butch, was fighting over last night. And they had an incredible match. If you like old school, like arm locks and you know, anybody knows anything about Pete Dunne's career knows he's into like joint manipulation, and you know, he pulled people's fingers out of sockets and stuff like that. It was really a brutal and gruesome match, and the referee was having a hell of a time controlling it. Tyler Bate was at ringside with Butch, and Noam Dar had his group of cronies with him. I can't remember their names, but I mean, it was a fantastic match. Unfortunately, Noam Dar, with some skullduggery, ended up winning it. As we just go through here. And again, thank you, WWE.com, for letting us use these videos. At least they hadn't stopped us yet. So, you know, thank you. But you can see these, and you can also watch highlights, which I'm not going to attempt to do. Yeah, there's one of Butch's old tricks right there, is just pulling your fingers, trying to remove your fingers from your hand. It's actually rough watching his matches sometimes, the way he pulls and tugs on different joints of the human body and bends them in ways they're not supposed to go. You don't see it much because on SmackDown, he's part of a faction with Sheamus. And so you don't really get to see him in one-on-one long matches anymore. So I was really glad they had him on NXT. And of course, there's the, I can't remember those guys' names. They used to be the tag team champions. They interfered and caused problems with Pete Dunne and ended up costing him the match. And in the end, Noam Dar held on to the title. Yeah, I would encourage you to go out of your way to see that. Also, let's see, for the NXT Championship, it was Carmelo Hayes against Ilya Dragunov. Boy, these still photos are great. They again, this took place in Bakersfield, California last night. Fantastic match as well. Loved it. Nothing I can say that was wrong with this. This is two young guys who are trying to get their big break in the business and just absolutely putting it all on the line. Fantastic. And believe it or not, I did not think it was going to happen this soon, but Carmelo Hayes lost. Ilya Dragunov is the new NXT champion. And so that was a pleasant surprise. I don't see the photos here, but Trick Williams actually beat the WWE's hottest bad guy right now, Dominic Mysterio, last night as well. So, and everybody, a lot of the wrestling fans are talking on Twitter today because Rhea Ripley wasn't there to help him. That's why he lost, and I agree.
Yeah. Somebody put up a picture. I saw a picture of her, and she's wearing pretty much China's outfit. Like it was like picture beside each other because it was kind of comparing them. And they were wearing the same leather bikini thing with the same straps and everything. I thought it was really interesting.
Yeah. Well, who knows? Yep, and there he is. There you see the man. I mean, I was like, whoa, when that happened. Rick Diesel just went away. I think he's going to go sign on to his regular computer and join us. So anyway, it was a great match. They shook hands at the end, which is common in NXT, even if it's like a bad blood feud. Usually once it ends, they show a little sportsmanship. But the big one for the night, this is the one we all came to see. I don't know about you guys, but this is one I was looking forward to, and they saved it till last. Is Tiffany Stratton going up against Becky Lynch for the NXT Women's Championship. And I will say it again, Becky Lynch, in my opinion, for whatever that's worth, nothing, is the best women's wrestler on the planet. They pretty much had a last woman standing match, so there was no DQ, so they fought all over the arena with chairs and everything. There's Tiffany safely suplexing Becky right on her head there. That's pretty bad. there were some hard hits in this match. And I would encourage you, if you've got Peacock, go check out this card. It was absolutely spectacular. And the amazing thing about Tiffany Stratton, guys, is she didn't go through the independent. She was a college athlete. I'm not sure exactly what sport she played. I'd have to look it up, or somebody else can look it up real quick and let me know. And but she like really didn't have any formal wrestling training until she got to NXT. And now she's main eventing pay-per-views, or PLEs as they're called now. And then you see Becky flying off the top rope. Even has got a shopping cart involved. Boy, that's very 90s, early 2000s jackass like. And oh yeah, the Barbie dolls.
She said she was trained by Greg Gagne.
Oh, was she?
Said on her Wikipedia, it says Ken Anderson, Greg Gagne, Sarah Amato, and then the WWE Performance Center.
Oh wow. Okay. Well,
said she made her professional debut in 2021, being trained by Greg Gagne, and debuted in December of that year, taking on Gimmick of Glamorous Woman. And then she went on to win the NXT championship. So she was at St. Catherine University in gymnastics.
That's what it was. That's why she's so bendy. She can do those they call them matrix moves, where if you go to try to clothesline her, she'll go into a back bridge and then she can stand right back up. Yeah, but this was pretty cool, considering they call her a Barbie doll and all that kind of stuff. You can see Becky Lynch dropping her on her head onto a pile of broken Barbie doll parts, which was kind of neat for a girls' hardcore match.
Dude, right? She was a trampoline gymnast. Holy shit!
Wow. Okay. Yeah, no wonder she's bendy. Okay. Let's see. So slamming on chairs. Yeah, this was. Cornette says that a lot of people don't want to see girls do hardcore matches. I will say this: when they're, like Brian has said countless times on here, when they're done correctly, hardcore matches can be a thing of beauty, and that's what this was last night.
Right. Yeah. I think the same people that don't want to see women hardcore wrestling probably don't want to see women wrestling at all. Because I mean, it is heightening the violence, but women wrestling on its own is violent. So
I don't want to know if I want to see women drenched in fucking blood, though.
Oh, I do. I like it.
If it was done the right way by the right people, people that are really good, like these two. If somebody would have got, bloody face.
I think if you want to watch a woman who does that very well, Taya Valkyrie is very good. She's very good with hardcore-esque matches and stuff.
Is any of that because she's in
AIWF no, this is from Mexico. She was in AAA. She started in AAA with Perros de Mal. And then she on the indie circuit still, I don't know if it's been any recent, but in the past year, I've seen her do hardcore matches at smaller independents, because AEW lets you work some on the indie circuit. Yeah. So, but yeah, she does it really well.
So check this out. Look at Tiffany Stratton. She can also fly too. That's so she's doing a senton bomb onto Becky Lynch through a table, and it worked, and it was vicious. I mean, so God, man, the talent level of these people, it's incredible. And she's such a bitch on her promos. You know what a tagline is? She'll say something real hateful to the person, and then they go, "Toodles," and walk off. Oh man, it just makes you so mad. But her wrestling ability is so good. I'm telling you, like one of these days, she'll have a change of attitude and become a fan favorite, and she's gonna like sell merch out the ass. I really believe. I hope so anyway. But she's a young prospect. Becky Lynch came out on top in the end. And it made me, I had mixed emotions about it, because part of me is like, when the WWE main roster, a former world champion, goes down to NXT and wins the women's title, it kind of feels like the big boys picking on the little boys, right? You know what I mean? It's like a major league player going back to the minors and just start cranking home runs, right? Like somebody from the White Sox come to Winston-Salem and just start nailing home runs.
Well, it's okay. Well, a lot of times though, like with like the Dash and stuff, they'll have people who've been injured, And then when they are done rehabbing, they'll come to the dash and do a stretch of games to get back ready to go back to the White Sox. So like in that situation, I can see it because I guess it's part of rehabbing and getting back into the swing of things. And like, so I could see that, like, if she was coming off an injury and they had her in NXT, but like, yeah, I understand what you're saying. Like,
she wrapped up her feud with Trish on the main roster at the last pay-per-view and then showed up at NXT and beat Tiffany Stratton for the championship. However, I will say this. That's what I initially thought about it when the WWE people go to NXT, but then I heard the business side of it. And since Becky Lynch and Baron Corbin have been showing up on NXT for the last month or so, their ratings have gone up. They've garnered another 300,000 or 400,000 viewers on Tuesday night. So then the light bulb went off, and I'm like, oh, I see why they're doing it. And I have to admit, when they show up the ad, like if I'm sitting there watching Raw, I'm like, Raw's going on forever. And they're going, hey, tomorrow night on NXT, Becky Lynch is going to be in action. And I'm like, oh, okay. Maybe I'll flip over and check that out, Yeah. So the star power works.
Well, that and it's helping the younger people on that roster, the people that just getting started out. It's getting more eyes on them. People tune in for Becky Lynch, and then they see all these new wrestlers that they haven't seen before, and can get exposed to them.
I wonder if Becky Lynch has also been sent down there because everybody's railing about how awesome Tiffany Stratton is, to find out if she's ready for the big time, because she's been wrestling her on live events. Like some video has escaped to Twitter of them wrestling on live events over the last few weeks. And so, I don't know, man. Maybe Tiffany's going to, I really hope they don't rush her to the main roster, because I think that's like the meanest thing that you can do to a kid is like rush them up to Raw and SmackDown where, they're really on a pressure cooker. These are the company's main source of income. Now go out there and give me 7 minutes and make it hot, kid.
Yeah. The thing is, though, sometimes you have to rush them, because you have to strike when the iron's hot. It's like if you wait too long, then they might start losing steam. And so sometimes you have to, sometimes you don't want to rush them and put them on the main roster too early. But if they're hot and the crowd really wants it, sometimes you have to push them a little bit sooner than you normally would.
Well, I just don't want a repeat of what happened with Mandy Rose, because in my opinion, they rushed her to the main roster. It didn't work. They sent her back to NXT. Then she spent a year or two down there, got hot again, was leading the faction, Toxic Attraction. I didn't mean to make that rhyme, but it worked out. And then she starts up her OnlyFans account and gets herself fired. So, and it came to an abrupt end. So that's kind of got, like, I'm superstitious anyway. So that's like, I would call it the Mandy Rose effect. Don't send her up too quick, because.
Well, but the thing is too, from what I can tell with NXT, it just seems like NXT is such a different product than the WWE. It's like, if you're hot in NXT, it may not translate to WWE. It might, but then it might not.
And we've seen that several. I mean, how many times have we seen that where they're hot in NXT and they come to the main? I mean, the one that pops in my head is the Ascension. Like,
yes,
they were,
my God,
they were going to be the new Road Warriors.
Them and the Vikings that they gave a stupid name to when they came.
Well, they've got the Viking Raiders back now, and they're steady on the mid card. If you're going to get to the main event, you got to go through them to get there.
But when they transitioned them that first,
it was awful.
It was terrible.
Yeah.
The Ascension, Brian's right.
Everybody was saying this is the new Road Warriors.
Yeah.
And then they went to the main roster and they changed them just enough to make them look dumb, and it just fell apart.
Well, they cut that promo on Raw one night, where they said that the Road Warriors and Demolition were nothing compared to what the Ascension was going to be, and all that kind of stuff. And I remember Bradshaw being on commentary at the time still. And as soon as that promo ended, he goes, "I don't know who the hell those punks think they're talking about, but Road Warriors and Demolition were two of the best tag teams that's ever been in the history of this sport. And these punks aren't going to get very far insulting them." Like that. And I was just like, wow, he sounds like he's really hot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, like, yeah.
Well, if you think about it, even the Road Warriors, like Legion of Doom, didn't do as well in the WWE as they did in NWA.
No,
Got them rubber spikes.
Yeah, that was one thing.
they were rubber spikes.
Yeah, their
Yeah.
spikes were rubber. In NWA, they were metal
Yeah.
on football, but when they were in WWE, they were rubber.
Oh,
If you look at the pictures, you can see. And then wasn't Heidenreich, didn't he become the other Road Warrior?
he was. Animal managed him for
Yeah.
a little while. Yeah.
And that was terrible.
Oh,
and then
yeah.
they did the whole thing where they took, I mean, good Lord, when they took his alcoholism and turned that into a angle. Ugh.
Yeah, that was that was rough. Even JR has said on his podcast that they probably shouldn't have done that.
Mhm.
But that was Hulk. And yeah, it was a bad deal all the way around. But the Road Warriors, I think in their initial WWE run, 90, 91, 92, thought they did well. They won tag team championships.
Mhm.
They brought Paul Ellering back. Remember, he had that dummy with him for a little while that would talk to him.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess we're talking about the second run,
in 97.
the Sunny management years.
Yeah,
Now,
97,
she was
98.
nice to look at with them, but yeah.
Yeah, she's a
Oh man,
drunken vehicular homicidal maniac and in
Ooh.
prison now. So
she looked, because the year now that I'm watching Smoky Mountain is when she came in and was managing Brian Lee, and it's just like so sad. It's so sad. It's because I just saw her at WrestleCade 2 years ago, and she was looking fantastic for her age. I even said, I was like, she looks really damn good to be as old as she is, but now she's like somebody's grandma. That's what jail did to her. But that's what you get for drunk driving and killing somebody. So I don't have any sympathy for her whatsoever.
No, she's probably not going to see the light of day for a long time.
No.
Her and Francine were together at that WrestleCade, and she looked pretty good too for her age. So
yeah, I remember going to an ECW show in Rock Hill, South Carolina many years ago, and Francine came to the ring, and I can't remember who she was with, but when we were sitting on the aisle, and when she came by, she just reeked of fucking weed. And I was just like, wow, ECW is truly an independent show still. I remember thinking that, and I was like, boy, this seems familiar. And Dawn Marie, remember her?
yeah, she's the one that went to WWF and then got pregnant, and they fired her, and she sued them and won.
Did she? I did not
Yes.
know that. I know she came to the ring and her eyes were real red that night too.
Yeah,
And she turned around and told us to shut up. And I said, "Are you high?" Like that. And she turned back around and never addressed the crowd again. I guess I better say. So if you're out there, Dawn Marie, I apologize.
is that what was the show that everybody? No, that wasn't Rocky. Oh, never mind. I was thinking about that show that me and Vera and Annie had the front row seats and stuff, but that was before we really knew y'all. So I don't know when that was. But we went to a show, and Billy was coming out of the bathroom, and Sabu was going in, and Billy marked out.
Mm-hmm.
So
Asked him where the bathroom was.
that's right. He asked Billy where the bathroom was.
Oh yeah, I remember Billy telling that story. Yeah, man, Sabu asked me where the bathroom was, and I showed him.
Billy also has the story from when we saw the Big Boss Man, and then we were standing there, and Big Boss Man goes, "I'm getting too fat for this." And he said it like towards Billy. And
yeah, he was walking back from the curtain, and I don't know if Billy was behind the curtain or beside it, but yeah, he looked at him and said, "I'm getting too fat for this."
And then he died a couple of months later.
Oh wow.
He was indeed getting too fat for it.
That was that show that was at Conway that Ryan was on, and then that's where I met the Road Dogg and Ron Killings, and Bill introduced me to the Road Dogg backstage. Yeah. So
yeah.
I don't remember who put that show on, but it was a big show. But it was big. But
I like the Big Boss Man. That last run he had in WWE where he was a real dastardly villain the last run. He killed Al Snow's dog Pepper and cooked it.
Fed it to him.
Yeah, fed it to him. And then the worst one was he went to the Big Show's dad's funeral.
I just watched that. I just watched that on YouTube.
Hooked the coffin up to a chain and pulled it away with a car. One of the most fucked up things I've ever seen on TV.
I just watched that.
Not as bad as Triple H pretending to fuck a dead body in a funeral home. But that was pretty dark. And Bruce Pritchard said, yeah, the funeral, the cemetery didn't ask us not to come back after that.
But it's so funny.
Shit.
It is really funny that you mentioned it. I'm talking about it's like 2 days ago where I was watching and I said, Brian, I said, watch this. And I was like, God almighty. Because I'm glad that he got another run because his run in WCW was terrible. They didn't know what to do with him. Because, he came in and he was, I don't know what they called him, but he had the Big Boss Man gimmick.
They called him the boss, just the boss.
And then that got a cease and desist. And then they put him in the
Guardian Angel.
Guardian Angel gimmick with the red jacket that was terrible. And I've never seen somebody's heat get as killed as when he came to WCW. Because I mean, whether or not it's neither here nor there. I love the Boss Man Slam. I think the Boss Man Slam is one of the best slams ever. But you might say, oh, well, he's not that great of a wrestler, blah, blah, blah. But he was really good in that Big Boss Man gimmick, whether it was the heel or the baby face. Because the Smoky Mountain I'm watching right now is when he came and did, he was the special referee for Heavenly Bodies versus Rock and Roll Express. Rock and Roll Express, and it was really good. But I was like, man, he should turn on the Rock and Roll Express in this. Because Jim Cornette even was like, hey man, I remember those times together. And I was like, oh, but he didn't, because he was such a good guy back then. But I like that.
Good TV. Yeah. Good TV, because you did wonder, because everybody knew he was Big Bubba. So, but I remember one of the promos he cut way back in the day. I think he was bad guy still. And he was like, you have the right to suffer. You have the right to feel pain. And if you'd like a lawyer present, I'll hurt him too.
Cobb County, Georgia.
Yeah. Big Boss Man will make you hard to find. Yeah, remember that?
God. That speaking of hard, Billy loved to say that. Gonna make somebody hard to find.
Yeah. Well, man. He got that because for years since I was a little kid, I misunderstood the lyrics. And so and so we were like singing, we were riding in the car singing old theme songs on the way to do TV some one time, and I was like, and the Big Boss Man will make you hard to find, like that. And Billy is like, what? Like, and I said, that's what I always thought it said. And he goes, no, it says walk the line. I said, well, I know that now, But when I was a little kid, and so Big Boss Man will make you hard to find.
That's an improvement. Yeah, it put you under the jail, make you hard to find.
Yep. Oh, mercy.
Oh man.
Good. So studio audience, what are your favorite wrestlers from days gone by? And if somebody, if somebody says the Mighty Igor, let's see.
Did you know Bugsy McGraw's alive?
Really? I mean, I
Yeah,
had
he's
no
gonna be
reason.
at WrestleCade. That's why I know that he's alive. I was shocked.
Well,
Oh, Tom
maybe
Reed,
he
yeah.
was just pretending maybe he was just pretending to do all those drugs. Because I could have swore he was on acid when he came out there. Anyway, guys, let me tell you about our other sponsors. And hey, if you'd like to become a sponsor of the show, we'd love to have you. It's $10 a month for reads, just like you're getting here. This is Branch Management. They do landscaping work in the Mount Airy, Surry County area. If you need to come out and need them to come out farther, they'll be glad to do that too if the price is right. Pressure washing, general contracting, gutter cleaning. They offer free estimates, and it is now October. It is time to plant when the weather gets right. So if you want to put in trees and shrubbery and stuff like that, now is the time. They can help you with that. They can plant them at the right time so they'll make it through the winter, and come spring, bloom big, beautiful, and bright. Pressure washing, general contracting, gutter cleaning. They'll even cut grass for you. They can do it all. It's Branch Management, 336-648-2487. Like I say, if you need any work done around the house, just give them a call, 336-648-2487. And finally, last but not least, our most delicious sponsor, it's Tea's Treats. They always do the concessions at the wrestling show. Great pizza, delicious dog, decadent desserts. You can get funnel cakes with like freaking pieces of cheesecake on them. And I mean, yes, we'll just come short of putting you into a diabetic coma, but fantastic food. They go everywhere there. You just heard earlier, Rick Diesel was bringing Trista back in the food truck. They have been at the Mount Airy Food Truck Festival for 3 days and apparently made a ton of money. Rick Diesel was sure smiling real big. But if you'd like to see where they're going to be next or like to book them for your event, give them a call at 336-755-8204. That's 336-755-8204. They also do announcements on social media, on Facebook. Just search Tea's Treats and you can go there or call them for the latest schedule updates. Yummy, yummy, yummy. Tea's Treats. And of course, they will be with us next Saturday night in Mount Airy for our TV taping, YouTube taping, whatever you want to call it. We'll show you that poster again one more time. And there we go. And it'll be, Saturday, October 7th at Veterans Park. Tickets, $5 for the floor, $3 for the bleachers, brought to you by our friends at King's Hot Dogs. Action gets underway at 7:30 p.m.-ish, we always say, but live pro wrestling. We'll look to get 3 episodes in the can, so probably 4 to 7 matches and a lot of great interviews, and it's just a whole lot of fun to come to the Mid-Atlantic television taping, so we certainly encourage you to do that.
Bring your signs. If you have signs, I'll make sure you get on TV.
Yep, bring your signs. Yeah, nothing offensive though.
No, then you won't get on TV.
Right.
I hate it. Well, I mean, I hate it, but I don't hate it. I'm gonna have to miss this one because I've got other stuff going on next weekend. But looking forward to hearing from everybody and everything. And I don't think we're gonna be able to do this show next Sunday either because of a commitment I have. Vroom vroom. And so I don't know if I'll be home.
All-Star.
No, it's their road course race that NASCAR runs over here at Charlotte. And it doesn't start until like 2:30. So by the time they run the race and I get out of the parking lot, it'll probably be pushing 9 o'clock, even though I don't live that far from the speedway. It's just actually, once I get off the property, it takes 5 minutes to get home, but that getting off the property, that's the real trick. So yeah, they usually draw about 80,000 people to those things. And so, it still does well here and at Martinsville. NASCAR was on a downswing for many years, but it looks like it's coming back. So, yay. Anyway, so probably not going to be able to do the show next week, but we'll be back with you in 2 weeks. And if you advertise with us and we take a week off, that does not affect you. You get 4 reads for $10. Okay. And so please make sure that you keep that in mind. If you want to advertise with us, we're not going to shortchange you. I'm telling you, we're the best value in wrestling podcast. And you may say, well, yeah, but you only cover Mount Airy and North Carolina stuff. Well, yeah, and that's why it's so cheap. But it's still cheaper than any other. I don't know any indie around here that offers advertising as cheaply as we do. So be on the lookout for that. And also, you wrestling fans, be on the lookout. We're in the talking stages of some fan challenges that might happen at the live events in the future that will not be humiliating.
No,
and
this will be PG.
Yeah, geared toward kids.
Kids, and no dog food. That's done and over.
Yeah, you're not gonna have to lick any dog food off anybody or poop in a bucket in front of everybody or any of that kind of stuff. Though that never
made anybody poop in a bucket.
No.
Did I miss that show?
No, that's something that came to mind. Let's see, but yeah, we're at 992 subscribers now. We are 8 away from our goal. So thank you, YouTube people. Just visit AIWF Ringside Wrestling. That is this show's YouTube page. And we archive this show here, and we've got a lot of other live action that goes there as well. So check it out. I think you'll get a big kick out of it. Brian and Reagan, any final thoughts before we skedaddle tonight?
No, just hope to see everybody next Saturday. I think it's like it says, the show is the show before Fright Night. So
go home show,
we'll
they
be
say.
putting in the episodes to lead up to that,
if you plan on coming to Fright Night, I would definitely also plan on coming to this show, because you're going to get to see the build up to Fright Night. Whereas if you just come to Fright Night, you're going to miss the matches that lead up to Fright Night, because they're going to be shown. They're going to be shown after the event. So you definitely want to see both events. You want to see the lead up that's going to be happening this Saturday, and then the big show that's going to be happening at the end of the month.
That is an excellent point, Brian. And it's just that at the rate we produce these videos, yes, Fright Night will have taken place by the time what happens this Saturday makes it onto YouTube. So it's the way we produce them in sequential order. So none of us do this wrestling as a full-time gig. So they get made when they get made, and we get them out as quick as possible. We do try to do it as quick as possible. Mm-hmm. Sometimes we have technical issues. Sometimes it's slow. So if you live in St. Louis and you can't ever come to Mount Airy in a recent future or anytime soon, that's okay. You will eventually get to see everything on YouTube. But if you're in the area, we cannot encourage you to come out in person and see it this Saturday night. Like Brian says, especially if you're planning on coming to Fright Night, because that's going to be our last gasp before we head into the big show Halloween weekend. Yeah. So, all right, everybody's getting kind of quiet, so that's just usually a sign to wrap it up. So, so thanks everybody for tuning in. We appreciate you. Be sure to check out. Oh man, here's Rick Diesel just coming in. We're getting ready to wrap up.
Oh, good Lord! Just in time.
Just in time to wrap up.
Just in time to wrap it up. Yeah. Oh, he's in his position and everything.
I know. We were just getting ready to wrap up, Rick Diesel.
You know what? No, let me tell you, I had to come in here and tell you this story.
Okay.
But I would have been here sooner, but as you can see, I had to take this shower because, sitting out at a food truck out on the concrete all day.
I'm uncomfortable seeing your shoulders. Please cut. Oh, God.
Have a big dollar, hustling that dollar.
All of a sudden, we're back down to 970 subscribers. What happened? No, I'm just kidding.
So I got home. I went and took a shower, and I'll tell this story and you wrap it up, Matt.
All right.
So I was getting undressed. Everybody does it, just drop your pants to the floor, step out of them, right?
Yep.
So I did that, and I bent over to pick my pants, my shorts up and everything, and throw them in the laundry basket. Well, when I did, I don't know. I guess I just was tired, not paying attention. But anyway, the doorknob kind of bumped me in the butt cheeks. You know what I'm saying? It didn't penetrate, but it just kind of,
Oh my
in there.
God.
And so at that moment, Rick Diesel realized he will never go to prison.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a strange sensation.
But I also realized that when I bend over, my butt's the same height as his doorknob. So,
I don't even know what to say about that.
I am very tired, by the way.
If
the
story was going that way,
want to experiment with stuff like that, no judgment. But if you're 6'1", your butt might be, if you bend over, your butt just might be the same height as the doorknob.
See, I thought that story was going a completely different way.
Really?
Yeah, I
thought it was going a different way from me.
I honestly thought it was going to be worse.
Yeah, I thought he was going to say something like, yeah, I went to bend over and I ended up stepping on the head of my dick and doing a front flip into the bathtub.
I thought it was going to be some kind of ball injury. So.
See?
No, but I will tell you what, there is inner workings of those things that are very sore after the past 3 days.
All the heavy lifting, I imagine so.
Yeah.
But so y'all are up there
as Wahoo McDaniel say, in the folds.
In the folds.
That's what he told Bad Brad that time when he got that staph infection in his dick.
Oh wow!
He said it got in the folds.
Who got a staph infection in their dick? Wahoo or Bad Brad?
Wahoo.
Okay.
Yeah, we was at Veterans Park and Wahoo was talking to Brad. There was because Brad, he got him a little better. He was starting to get that cauliflower in a little bit,
Uh-huh.
And he was asking Wahoo about Wahoo's telling about cauliflower in, and Wahoo told me, he said, but that ain't enough. He said, what you really don't want to do is get a staph infection in your dick. He said, I got one time, and he said, it got in the folds. He said, the wife loved it, but she just couldn't touch it. I said, it hurt.
Oh, Wahoo.
And that what might have been
That's my hero, Wahoo.
That's I wonder if they could treat that with penicillin or anything, or
I think that's what he said. I can't remember. He was telling Brad. I was just kind of a standby.
I don't understand. I don't understand. I've seen wieners, but I don't understand. I don't understand anything about this.
Oh, he probably got it from like wrestling on a dirty wrestling mat or something like that. Where
there's no telling.
Yeah. So
what folds?
I don't know. It's just what the man told me or told Brad. Like I said, I just stand over to the side and listen to the conversation. Why I was listening to the conversation, I'll never know.
Let me go on Google and see if I can't find a medical drawing.
Oh man, have I come on here and started?
We were supposed to be wrapping shit
anatomy conversation.
Hey kids, if you want to see how they treated STDs like back in the 40s and 50s, if you want to see something really gross, look that up.
Oh, I've seen pictures of that from my psychology classes.
Yeah, sometimes they involved a rubber mallet, I've heard. So anyway. Yeah, just if you hit it hard enough, it'll come out.
Yeah. That's probably when they first invented those goggles for the for the nurses and stuff.
Don't worry, we'll get that chlamydia out, kid. Just throw that up on the table here.
I'm sorry. I come in and just run this thing right off the rails right before we got to the station, didn't I?
Yeah, man. We descended into dick jokes real quickly. That was amazing. Like a world record. I don't think even Dave Attell has ever done it.
Oh Lord.
Anyway, all right. So we're gonna get out of here, folks. Like I said, we'll be back in 2 weeks because I don't think I'm gonna be back from the Speedway in time enough to do the show next week. But we will see you when we see you. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for your support on YouTube. And if you live in the United States and you're a 1,000th subscriber, I'm going to try to catch you and reach out to you and see if we can't send you a prize pack. I ain't making no promises, but we're trying.
Now, if everybody wants me to, I can come on here next week, just do a Facebook Live and just talk about weird shit. But you got to let me know. Just send it in there to Facebook and just say, hey, yeah, come on, talk about weird shit.
Yep, but
I'll take questions and we'll just run it off the rails into a ditch. I don't care.
There you go. All right. So if you want Rick Diesel to come on here and do a weird shit show, and it will be that, All right, just let him know.
As Reagan would say,
that to try to bring it back on course.
yeah, I'll screw it up as bad as I can. So Matt will have a big mess when he comes back. And what we'll do is since it's going to be a shit show, we'll just have, as Reagan would say, we'll just call it the YWA.
Oh my God.
Oh, man.
You know, one time me, Brian, and Bad Brad, we drove all the way to Elkin for one of their shows, got to where it was supposed to be, and it didn't happen. And they just didn't even put out that they were canceling it. And we drove all the way up there.
So the building was just empty. The lights were turned off.
Yep.
Yeah.
I don't remember where it was supposed to be. Was it an outside show?
I
don't remember where it was, but it did not happen.
It wasn't in that garage, was it?
I don't know. Something's telling me it was an outside show.
They run it in an old garage for a while.
I don't know, but yeah.
They just
So
don't
we
want the
went
bay
all the
door.
way up there, planning, excited, but we ended up doing what? Going to the Festival of Lights at Tanglewood. That's what we ended up doing. So I think it's the only time Brad ever been to the Festival of Lights. So
Well, I'm glad y'all got to do that. That sounds like a more pleasant way to spend a evening.
yeah,
It was.
It
You
was.
know, it's funny thing about the Festival of Lights. My wife and I do that. Go up there usually on Thanksgiving night. That's become a tradition since we got married, and we go up there. And to me, I know it's a lot of the same shit, but they always add something new. But it never gets old to me.
No,
I
it
don't know
does
why.
not. We go twice. We go at the beginning of the season and on New Year, like right after New Year's. Or
Y'all
right.
should be able to see it from your back porch.
Oh my, you're doxing us. But yeah, we should. We get.
It's a big area.
It is
Well, and you know, and the only thing that that I hated that last year we went and the lady or gentleman or whoever made the homemade chocolates that on the stick, you know, the chocolate, like the lollies that were made of chocolate or whatever, they weren't there last year.
Oh,
Yeah,
you know, for a while they weren't doing the s'mores, but they got that. They went a couple of years, and people were rowdy about that. Oh, it was bad.
Oh
So
man,
they
I
brought
saw
it
somebody
back.
yelling at the hot dog lady about that one year when they didn't have the s'mores, and she's like, "I'm sorry, you know, we have COVID concerns." You know, and people are like, "Fuck COVID, we want our s'mores."
No, this was before they stopped doing it before COVID.
Did
They
they?
didn't do it the year before. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because of I don't know what the issue is, but now you know Lowe's does it. And it's exciting. It's my family's favorite thing. We're going on a carriage ride this year at it.
Oh, really? Yeah, but you got to reserve those like way in
Oh, I
advance.
did. I got to send my check off tomorrow.
Oh wow,
We got the reservation.
We got the reservation.
that's gonna be so nice.
Yeah, we've been wanting to do that for God ever since we had kids. So and they're 14. So
Yeah, I'm sure that's not a inexpensive endeavor.
it's not as bad as you think it is.
Yeah,
Really?
yeah, it's not cheap, but it's reasonable for
Yeah,
what,
it's not
for what it is.
It's not prohibitive.
Mhm.
I mean, I guess it would be if you like didn't have a job, but like you know, it'd be prohibitive.
And what isn't?
Yes.
Yeah, as long as you're working regular steady hours, it's fairly affordable.
I don't know if you can work at McDonald's and do it, but you know, maybe.
If you don't have any vices and you save, yeah, you can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You just gotta
And
plan
you're not
ahead.
working in McDonald's.
Yeah, I know.
That's so pitiful. That's the hardest fucking job and the most
I
thankless
know.
job. Everybody that's what Vera did in college. She worked mornings at McDonald's in Eden. Not Eden, yeah, in Eden. And it was Jesus. That's thankless work right there. So God bless everybody that works in fast food. Y'all deserve so much more.
Yep.
I
There's
really connected with one of their ordering kiosks one time. I had a long conversation with it. It looked so pitiful.
I don't like ordering kiosks.
I love the McDonald's. I got a very nice McDonald's down here, and the hamburgers taste just like they did when I was a little kid. And so, yeah, the people there, we know you bust your ass, but you do a great job.
Yes, you do.
Most of
Yeah,
them.
we have the only
There's some
Taco
real-
Bell that's decent in Clemens.
Yeah, there's some real crappy fast food places out there, but for those of you who work in them and bust your ass and make it good, even though you're only getting paid minimum wage, God bless you. You are doing such a tremendous service for our country. So
Well, and you're doing something, that's a skill. I'm sorry. That is the skill. Learning how to cook at the parameters that they give you is a skill.
Yep.
There's no such thing as unskilled labor.
No, it's not.
Everybody has to yeah. But here we go. We're gonna
Anyway,
we're not gonna go off on our workman's tangents about fair labor and fair process. So we'll not make ourselves hated.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think everybody can agree the working man gets a pretty shitty shake in this country. So yeah,
I get Dean up against a doorknob. Can we just call it doorknob now?
Yeah,
Plucked in the ass. We'll say doorknob.
yeah.
Well, it's a knob, it's not a handle.
Yeah, those bastards at the IRS, they just doorknobbed the shit out of me again this year.
So if you want to see this take off, hashtag AIWF doorknobbed.
Yes.
Hey, check it out.
Doorknob.
What is that?
A toothbrush and some
No.
plugs.
It's knobs.
Oh.
Food truck windows.
Yeah.
How appropriate.
Yeah. All right, kids. Well, now we had the weekly dick joke segment. We'd like to remind you we're sponsored by King's Hot Dogs, and we're going to get out of here. Thank you for joining us. We'll be back here in a couple of weeks, and there's Rick Diesel and his knob. So try to protect your knob and not let anybody else doorknob you this week. Handle. And that's a handle. Don't let them door handle you either. And come on in.
I don't want to back up against that. That'd be no, sorry.
When it's up against the wall, redneck mother.
What?
Now.
Look it up. It's a song. Look it up. It's terrible.
They do have adhesive. They're not screwed in.
Yeah,
so
I have seen movies.
Anywhere.
I have seen movies where women put stuff on the walls like that and back up into it. But that's neither here nor there. I guess we should.
It's there. I don't know if it's here, but it's there.
We're starting to get in the area that kind of could get us kicked off of YouTube.
I didn't say anything.
Oh, I know. I just said we're starting to get over in that direction.
There, so we need to. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I already got in trouble on Facebook this week. I don't need to get in trouble anymore. So.
All right. We'll get out of here. We'll be back in a couple of weeks, folks. Please join us Saturday night in Mount Airy. If you're around the area, you don't want to miss it. Like Brian said, it's the last show before Fright Night. Tickets are $5 on the floor, $3 in the bleachers. You can't beat that. One of the best values in wrestling.
Beat that for the action and the superstars.
Yep. And
we've got some of the best talent in the independents right now.
Yes, we do. We're very fortunate to have everybody on that roster. So.
Everybody got
that froze up. There he is.
Okay. All right. So let's say goodbye. We'll see you at the matches on Saturday night. We will see you in 2 weeks right back here on AIWF Ringside Wrestling. For Brian and Reagan Danzig and Rick Diesel and Mad Matt Carter, saying until next time, wrestling fans, so long for now.